morning, should you get a teardrop trailer? Obviously, I'm a little biased, but is it the right vehicle for you? And when I say teardrop, I also include square drops and any of the other small or tiny travel trailers. This is one of those cases where size does matter. The small size of these trailers is its biggest advantages and its biggest disadvantages. So let's start with the pluses first. You don't need to get a super duper heavy duty vehicle to tow it. In fact, the vehicle you already have might be suitable for towing one of these small trailers. You may just need to slap a hitch on it and away you go. Or if you do need an upgrade, it's a smaller upgrade as opposed to, Dually 250. I don't know truck stuff. I just know they're big and they're expensive. And they're expensive to keep gassed. So if you're a single person like I am, or someone who doesn't really need a large vehicle, that's a gray J. If you're someone like me who doesn't need a large vehicle for day-to-day life, and the only time I need something bigger is to tow my trailer, then having to buy a big truck is a huge problem. And because it's small, there's also a lot more places where we can park, and not just park, but camp. So if I need to run into a store, if I need to get supplies, or just a place to stay for the night, like, a rest area, whatever, I just need a double long spot. Or I can throw it into, pretty much almost any campground or campsite. And we've had a lot of luck finding like really tight places. My car might have some new, they call them trail stripes, I believe. We've been able to explore like some incredible places because we could get there. And there is no way that a larger trailer would even think about it. Like, we're not constrained to parking lots and RV resorts. And to be quite honest, I drive by some of those RV resorts and I'm like, oh my God, you could literally hand a cup of sugar to the next trailer over. Like, I don't like being in those kinds of situations. So being here where I'm mobbed by gray jays is far more preferable than having to go to, not to mention it's free. And no, it's okay, he's friendly, dogs. It's a lot less intimidating if you've never towed something to tow something that's basically the same size as your car. Like, okay, it's minimally taller. 6 inches taller than my car. So I don't have to worry about, not being able to fit somewhere or anything like that. We were in some really, really windy places, and I was watching larger vehicles just and then there's us just like, oh, shine. Okay, well, more like white knuckle, like, oh my God. But this thing didn't even twitch. So that's great, especially for me. I've never towed anything before. This has been a learning experience, as my hitch will tell you, because it's been bounced off the ground a few times. The only kind of caveat to that is reversing. And it's pretty much everyone I've spoken to, they hate reversing small trailers like that because it's so, like, the tiniest move just sends it. They're like, there's my trailer beside me. It's bad. Like, it's really bad when the guy who works at the tire shop says he doesn't even reverse these trailers. He'll get one of his guys to do it for him. I'm like, oh, okay, so that makes me feel better. And anyone who's like, well, then here you go. Here are the keys. You do it. Oh, not so easy, is it? Sometimes, like, I can back it up like one take and I'm like, damn, I'm good. Other times, I'm the master of the 50-point turn. And hey, that's just not my day. But even when parking the car, I think we sometimes have those days where you're just like, I have a driver's license. I know how to do this. I don't know what's wrong. The only thing that would have us beat in the setup department would be a camper van and an RV, like one of the self-contained ones. Because I can literally just park the car, I walk back here, I get in, I'm good to go. I don't need slides to put out. I don't need stabilizing jacks to drop down. The only time I use my stabilizers is when I drop my trailer. I very rarely drop my trailer. Once we're on, we're gone, because we're just gone day to day, go poof, 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 poof. So that was the biggest thing why I didn't want a pop-up tent trailer. Like, I wanted to be able to stop and get in, because I hate that set down, set up, whatever, in the rain. Inevitably it's raining. I just wanted to stop and go, get in. So That's a nice advantage to it. If you're handy, you can build your own. And I talked to someone like a couple of weeks ago. Actually, it was just down the road from where we're on our way back to. And he was asking me questions, stopping to get gas. He's like, "Oh, it's great, how long, blah, blah." He goes, "It's my winter project. I'm going to build one for camping." And I'm like, "That's freaking awesome." I mean, I don't have a workshop. I don't have a garage. Otherwise, I would probably try and build one. Now I've actually thought about, do I know anyone who has a garage or a workshop that I can like borrow a corner of it and their tools and maybe pick their brains. If I had a nephew in auto shop, I'd be like, "Hey kid, guess what you're doing for a project?" Is he in auto shop? What about the other one? He's 3. Okay, I know he's 5. Can we get him an auto shop? And last but not least, the cost. You buy a brand new one of these. I mean, this model, 8 years ago, 9 years ago, I don't math, was $12.50, $12.5. This model, like almost 10 years ago, was $12.5. And then, of course, the world went, but, and I mean, obviously, a brand new teardrop, you look at, 15 to 20. You could get a used trailer for that same amount, that kind of matrix kind of goes down. But if you're looking at brand new to brand new, it's not even a comparison, right? So here you go. Now the downsides. It's small, which means during inclement weather, here you are. That's a queen size bed. So the dogs and I get really cozy, and then it gets humid in there very, very quickly because you can only open the vent so much without letting all the rain in. And you can only open the window so much before you're letting all the rain in. That's why this window is open. I'm letting all the humidity out. If you're traveling with other people, I hope you like them. I don't know. You hear about people like, "Oh, we're a family of 4 in a teardrop." I'm like, are you insane? Like, if it's a family of 4 and 2 of them are okay. But there gets to that point where you're not going to fit 4 people comfortably in one of these, which now brings in accessory tents. You can't always have accessory tents. There have been a few times, like when we were out in Newfoundland, there were some places, even here. Last night when we got here, it was freaking windy. It was so windy that if I tried to put up a tent, there's no way. There are other times, now it's completely calm. So if I had come here now and I set up my tent, I'd be fine. Say I take the dogs for a walk. Oh, it's starting to get a little windy. Next thing I come back, it's flat. That happened to us out in Grasslands. I had a screen tent because there's no shade out there. We went out for a walk. We came back, tent was flat. Luckily, it was still there and not damaged, but completely flat. Hopefully the neighbors had a really good show watching me trying to pack it up. When you want to cook, you have to cook outside. And are you setting up tents? Are you setting up awnings? Are you setting up tarps? All that sort of thing. Like, there was one day I was cooking, everything seemed fine, and then all of a sudden this rain, I thought I had more time than I did, and then I thought, okay, the covers, the galley lid or door is going to keep me covered. Oh no, the wind shifted, all nice and wet inside. So that was fun. Hello. Your amenities are going to be far reduced in one of these kinds of things. Now, you can get ones that have heat, you can get ones that have cooling and all that. A, that adds to the cost, and B, you can only put so many things in here. Meanwhile, other people in their big trailers are preparing their Thanksgiving turkey in their lovely little oven. And there's me going, well, I've got Spam. I could cook that stuff like you would not believe. Boom! I will spam it up with a moment's notice. Small size, small storage. Now, I know some people like to store things in here. I have a good bit of room in the back of the boot or the trunk of my RAV. And I kind of use that as a self-limiting thing because otherwise I would bring the kitchen sink. But it is just me. So if there were other people and other things, and again, if there were kids and you need to bring bikes and stuff like that, it's you're sleeping, but it's also your toy storage or toy haulage if need be. But then you got to make sure you keep it clean and stuff like that. Your storage is limited with one of these things. Your space in general is limited, and your overall facilities and amenities. Like this thing is. I'm bringing my facilities with me, if you know what I'm saying. There's no shower. I'd go jump in the lake. It'd be cold. And I would just sit there and whine the whole time. So who would best be suited to this kind of a camper, trailer camper thing? Single people and or couples, hopefully they like each other, with or without dogs, because I mean, hey, odds are your dogs probably sleep with you anyway. At least mine do. So, this is a small downgrade from the king size bed to the queen size bed. People who enjoy kind of minimalist style camping, so you don't have to have the RV resorts with the golf carts and the pools and the water slides. People who are okay with, maybe not having a tent, for a day or two, you huddle down in here or whatever, or you're traveling. Very mobile style. You're either going to be highly mobile, as in day to day, like an overland type of thing, or you set down roots and you're there for like a week with your tents and your tarps and everything like that, weather permitting, obviously. People who would not do well with these are the people who need, I would say, like the creature comforts. You need to have your couch, you need to have your space. Maybe you have a larger family. I look at those big RVs and I'm like, on one hand, I'm like, yeah, that looks great. I mean, you're always warm, you're always dry, you have lots of space and all that. But then I'm like, well, you're stuck in a Walmart parking lot. We've done the Walmart parking lot once in a while, mainly to get off the road so we don't hit a deer or a moose. Here it's moose. Hey there, Editor Chris from the future. Just a couple of quick things I want to clarify. First of all, I know I kept saying Walmart and RV parks. Yes, of course, you can also camp out in national parks, provincial parks, state parks, municipal parks, and all those other places. The reason why I kind of focused on Walmart and RV parks is because they have more space. And typically, the larger the rig, the harder it is to find space. You're going to find a ton of space in most Walmart parking lots, not all, because, sometimes local, regulations kind of, trump the Walmart. And in RV parks, I mean, they are for RVs. In Ontario, campsites fill up exceptionally quickly. It's like people are waiting for that opening day and they buy, and sometimes they even buy, beat the bots. So, that's nice. And if you're someone like me who's constantly moving and you don't really like to plan ahead, that really does put a damper on things. If you're super organized, good on you. And then you obviously have a ton more opportunities. King's upset because I have turkey broth for soup, and he wants some in his kibble. The other thing is, my rig is mobile, and it's more, let's say, more off-road friendly than like those bus size RVs. But obviously something like, a high clearance vehicle like a Jeep with a rooftop trailer, or a truck camper, or high clearance van, you guys have even more flexibility than I do and more off-road capabilities. That's not to say that I'm the end-all be-all of everything. The bigger the RVs are, the more space they need, the more road space they need. They don't have the same flexibility as far as road bumpiness and just maneuverability. Like, there have been a few places where I've dropped my trailer, turned the car around, and hooked back up because I've gotten into a bit of a jam. You can't do that with those bigger trailers. So that's just something that I wanted to clarify. You know what? If you've got those big ass RVs, and you got those big trailers, and you're happy, and you're out there and you're exploring, whatever it takes for you to explore this big world out there, you do what makes you happy. Back to your regularly scheduled program. Now, there does seem to be a little bit of a snobbishness towards these kind of trailers. Like, I can't tell you how many comments I've gotten of, oh, well, your first mistake was getting a teardrop. Honey, let me tell you something. I have made a lot of mistakes in my life. This is not one of them, okay? Actually, in the list of mistakes in my life, this is down towards the bottom. Let me see. I would actually put it below the time I got frostbite here, running a half marathon in Montreal on the coldest day of the year. That was a bigger mistake than getting one of these. So, can it? Or the other response is, oh, I'm not enjoying the nature in a way that you think is appropriate? Fine. When can I expect the rig that you're going to send me? Who on earth thinks that they have the right to tell other people that they're enjoying nature wrong? As long as they're following all the rules and regulations, they're leaving no trace, and they're respecting the locals, who cares? That's my thing. So let me know what you think. Are you getting one? Have you gotten one? Is this the biggest mistake you've ever made? They really, like, how elitist do you have to be to tell people, your trailer isn't good enough? All right, cool. Excuse me while I pull in between all the other 30-foot trailers and sit there and try and level it out for 15 minutes. More things to break. That's the other thing. There's more things to break in a bigger trailer. And trust me, I'll break it. Not intentionally, but I'll break it. I might be able to fix it. I don't want to find out. Throw down your comments, your thoughts, your concerns. Share with a friend, loved one, travel partner, the person who tells you that your travel trailer's in big. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I know I say it with every video, and I know I say this spiel with every video. That's because I really do mean it. You took time out of your day to watch me flail. Hold on. You took time out of your day to watch me flail around and be one with the birds. Let me know if you have any other questions. Shoot them down below. Let me know if you have any other videos you want to see. Shoot them down below. And we'll see you out there. Safe travels. Am I doing it? I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I never thought I'd be dealing with an ambush of birds.